there are hadiths from the Imams, several of the Imams, including the Imam al-Mahdi himself, that says of a notion called al-ibaha. What is al-ibaha? You're excused from khums. So at the time of occultation, you're excused from khums. Khums is wajib. But we've given you permission, you're excused. You don't need to pay it. We have hadiths. You can go and Google it. You can search them. Ahadith al-ibaha or ibahat al-khums. Go to this discussion of every fuqaha. Whether it's Sahib al-Jawahir, whether it's Sayyid al-Khoi, whether it's every single one of our ulama, go and read. They have a section called section Ibahat al-Khums. And they have discussed this. This was the first opinion. Second, they said, no, how can it be that, we're not going to pay khums? So they started burying the khums. Yeah, digging graves, burying the khums in there. Well, why? Because they thought the Imam, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 50 years, he's going to come back. And when he comes back, we have hadiths that Allah will dig up the treasures of the earth for Imam al-Mahdi. Whatever treasures there are within the earth, Allah will enable Imam al-Mahdi to use them. So we bury them. Imam al-Mahdi, when he comes, Allah enables him to use them. But what was happening? Currencies were being expired. At times, the enemies of the followers of Ahl al-Bayt were going and finding those buried khums, using it against the Shia themselves. And you better believe, people had an eye on those rich people burying their khums. He goes and buries the khums. The next day someone goes and digs this grave and takes out the khums. So they said we have to stop this. Third opinion is al-wasaya or al-wasaya. So one is al-ibaha, second is al-dafn, and third is al-wasaya. Again, this is a discussion in every fiqhi book. Today, if you're writing your will, you're writing your wasiyah, you're at an age where you're talking about your will. You have, for example, $50,000 of khums, 50,000 golden dinars of khums, 100,000 dirhams of khums, depending on where you live. You say, well, I didn't meet the Imam, I didn't see the Imam is still in occultation, so I pass this in my generation. I pass this to my son. He writes it in his will, he passes it to his son. If his son didn't have somebody who he trusts, he passes it to another mu'min. This mu'min passes it to another mu'min, and it was being passed around in a form of wasiyah, will, until the Imam would reappear. But obviously, they realized that, look, this money is going to waste. Again, currencies are going to waste. And then, when there is a huge sum, with $100, 150,000, 200,000, maybe. But when you accumulate about $5 million, now it's very difficult to pass this amana down. So some money was being lost there, and people were saying, well, we need to change this method. So they came up with the fourth opinion. Now, this is up until 100 years ago. Keep this in mind. Fourth opinion. They said that since half the khums belongs to the Sayyids, this portion belongs to the Imam. If the Imam were to be alive and amongst us today, he would spend it in the way that he wishes. But if he's not around, we have to spend it in the way that makes him happy. What way is that? Obviously, if we give the money to the relatives of the Imam, he will be happy. Imagine you have somebody who you owe him $200. You don't have access to him. He's upset with you. So you say, look, I can't find you, but I'm going to give it to your son. It's better than not giving it to anybody. I'm going to give it to your father. I'm going to give it to your mom. I'm going to give it to your sister. I'm going to give it to your cousin. They said, this will please the Imam. They are his cousins. They are his relatives. They are his flesh and blood. So let us shift all the khums and give it to the Sayyids. For 1,000 years, this was the opinion of the Shia. Are you telling me that they did khums wrong? Allah didn't accept their khums, therefore their salah was invalid, their hajj was invalid, their prayer was invalid, their dua was not being accepted?